HarperCollins presents Off the Record by Portia Macintosh, read by Karen Cass. Chapter 1. They say when you can't find something, the first thing you should do is look for it in the last place you remember seeing it. Well, the last time I saw the thing I have misplaced, he was up on stage performing some of his greatest hits in front of 50,000 screaming fans. I am, of course, talking about super-famous rock star Dylan King, best known for being the lead singer in The Burnouts, less known for being my best friend. We first met when I was just starting out as a music journalist, and he made it his mission to sleep with me. He pulled out all the stops to impress me, but the harder he tried, the harder I resisted. And I'm so glad that I did, because I'd rather have him as a friend than a famous notch on my bedpost. There are downsides to being his best friend, though. Dylan is what you'd call a liability. And despite his fame and his ability to sell records, his record label knows that he can be unpredictable and they're constantly telling him to watch his behaviour. This is like telling a bull to ignore the colour red, because Dylan only views their warnings as a challenge to see just how far he can push them. And one day, he will push them too far. That's where I come in. I'm a Dylan wrangler. I'm the only one who is always there in the background, regulating his rebellious behaviour and making sure he doesn't take things too far. I'm the one who makes sure he is on time for sound checks, and the one who always tries to make sure there is at least a little blood in his alcohol stream. The reality is that Dylan, Dill, as I call him, is almost always drunk, has a real eye for the ladies, and thinks that he is God. Still, I love him to bits, and I'm happy to do all the things his tour manager is paid to do. It's not that Claire doesn't do her job well, it's just that Dylan doesn't listen to her. Speaking of Claire, I spotted her in the press tent not too long ago, so I wander over to see if she has any idea where Dylan is. Hey Claire, how's it going? Nicole, hello. Not bad, although your boy is drunk, she replies. Why is it that he's my boy when he does something wrong? I don't get the credit or the big paychecks when his sellout tours go well. When isn't he? I joke. Have you seen him since he came off stage? Oh, yes, it was immediately after he came off stage, actually. He asked me if I had heard of his band, and then he tried to kiss me. I burst out laughing, although Claire isn't amused. All these years she's worked for him, and he still doesn't recognise her when he's smashed. Then again, when Dylan is smashed, he is capable, or not capable in some cases, of anything. Mikey is just doing an interview. Why don't you ask him? Claire suggests. And when you do find Dylan, tell him I need a word. I decide to hang around and wait for Mikey, Dylan's younger brother/bandmate. Mikey is probably more talented than Dylan, but Dylan has the balls needed to be a frontman. Mikey isn't quite as tall, dark, or handsome as his brother, and he doesn't misbehave quite as spectacularly, so he is often overshadowed by his older sibling. Mikey is happy so long as he is strumming his guitar and writing incredible songs for Dylan to sing. I have been working in the music industry for a long time now, and hanging around with musicians for even longer, which is probably what makes me the most qualified when it comes to looking after Dylan, more so than his tour manager or his own brother. I was a young, impressionable teen when I made friends with my first band, and if you hang around with rock stars for long enough, their bad behaviour is bound to rub off on you, which is why I am so savvy when it comes to bands, but so crap at living in the real world and being an adult. I can tame rock stars, interview the most difficult celebrities, and make my face of makeup last for several days when I disappear on tour without warning. Real life, though, I'm not great at that. Despite being in my 20s, my bedroom walls are still covered with posters of bands. My cooker is nothing but extra storage space for my clothes, and relationships with normal guys are just not something I'm interested in. I like my relationships to be fleeting and newsworthy. Not that I'd ever kiss and tell. That's another reason Dylan relies on me, because he knows I'll keep my mouth shut about everything.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?